you see it as you grow up, don't you? When you live with one parent that's, lived in Cyprus most of their life, and one that's lived in England. It's chalk and cheese basically.
We'd get my AI in the car and drive to see her sister in Bafo, in Dimi, right? And she'd leave the barathera open, and we'd be like, AI, this the barathera. She's like, no, don't worry. I'm like, what?
What the fuck's going on here? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
There's no real point in me doing an introduction to this because, it's just off the cuff kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, the fact is, the show is called The Life of Charlie. We're known as Charlutka.
Charlutka.
So just go with it. It's like the play on the Monty Python Life of Brian, isn't it? So
exactly. Yeah.
Good. Number Andy. So what's going on with you there? Because you and I have known each other for what's that? It's got to be about that.
Yeah, over 10 years, mate.
Over 10 years. Shoot Defense together, didn't we? Roughly. I mean, we'd been doing it for about a year before you jumped on.
That's right. Yeah. As soon as it was when the podcast first started coming out, innit? And when I heard that you was doing a football show just to talk back in them days, I love talking about football. So I was straight on to you. Stel, get me on, son. Get me on. And we had a great.
It's weird how things work out, though. It really is, because we didn't know each other. I think, who even put us in contact? I can't even remember.
Well, I think we wanted to kill each other the first contact we ever had. It was the days of when you was a hardcore going Manchester United fan and I was a hardcore going Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
And so that's
worlds collided.
Worlds collided. But so it's from there basically. We got and then obviously a few mutual friends as well. We got a lot of mutual friends, haven't we? Like you mentioned Fosh earlier on. Hopefully we'll get him on the show soon as well. We'll have some good.
I don't want to get in front of a camera.
Standard Fosh, mate. Me and Fosh, right? We might not talk for ages, and then he'll send me a joke on WhatsApp, like an Irish joke, and then I'll send him one back. That's the sort of relationship me and Fosh. When Fosh hears a brilliant joke, he messages me on WhatsApp, and likewise, you know what I mean. So,
the thing is, I messaged him. I said, "You're gonna come on tonight?" He goes, "Oh, I can't make it." I said, "Okay, fair enough. That's it." And the next thing, he goes, "I'm having an early night because I'm going to play golf early in the morning." Okay.
Oh my God, that's got to be a right sight. Fosh with the golf club.
Yeah, apparently he's played for a while, man.
Really?
For a while. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna have to speak to him about that.
Yeah, I don't know where he plays, but hey, he's got the golf clubs and everything. So that's done.
Well, listen, mate, I'm not much of a golf player. I do enjoy going to pitch and putt.
Yes.
Nine holes. Forget this 8. Yeah. I think it'll take me about 3 days to finish an 18-holer.
3 days to finish one hole, mate.
Anyway. I mean, it'll take. I think the buggy will travel quicker than the ball, to be honest, if I play on one of them golf courses. But I do enjoy a bit of pitch and putt, to be honest. And hopefully it's coming to that time of year again now where the weather gets a bit better and we can go down and have a couple of rounds. I usually play over at Oak Hill Park. And it's a good laugh, to be honest. I do like a bit of pitch and putt. I
prefer crazy golf, man. I prefer crazy golf. That's my thing.
Where you rebound it off everything.
Yeah, man. When I take the kids, like she just smashes it all over the place. I mean, we went to Trent Park. There's one in Trent Park.
Down the road. Literally up my road, Trent Park.
And the one that I can't remember which hole it was, but there's a bridge where you walk across. You don't hit the ball, you just walk across.
There's like a waterfall there, isn't there?
Bravo. On the hole before, she's watching because there's some lads playing football because there's a 5-a-side pitch next to it.
Yeah, that's right. It's where the pitches are.
She's looking over like that. What are they doing, Baba? This and that. And she whacks the ball. It goes over the bridge and into the Nero. I'm like, get here, Alexa. What am I going to do now? What am I going to do? I'll get the ball back.
Did you do a Happy Gilmore scene with that clown? Is there a clown there where you start smashing the clown up? Because I can imagine you doing that at Crazy Golf still. Losing the plot.
I'm calm. I'm calm when I'm with my daughter. There's only one. There's only one time I've lost it, and that was when I was walking at home from school, and there was some boys from St. Ignatius walking the other way, and one of them said something. I was talking to her, and then one of them was mimicking me, and I had my umbrella at the time.
Oh man.
Put it this way, I had a few words with him. Let's just put it that way. I had a few words with him.
With the umbrella, or just words?
The umbrella was used as a kind of like you know when a conductor is conducting the orchestra. that was me. I was conducting him a little bit. So no. There was no physical. There was no. I promise there was no physical violence. Just put it this way: some of the words that came out of my mouth, my daughter had never heard before. But yes, and I didn't have to explain it afterwards. It's fine because she knew I was quite angry. But anyway, it is what it is. But no, I'm rather, because the thing is, you know what it's like with kids, right? They're like sponges.
Oh,
so anything you say, and especially when they're at this age, I mean, you got 3, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's all repeated now, mate.
How's your youngest?
14.
But when they were Stefania's age or even younger, let's say Bendexi Chrono, right?
Oh,
you
mate.
couldn't say nothing around them.
Oh, mate, I remember my eldest now, when she was around 2 or 3 years old, she used to waffle a lot to my brother, and he's sitting there and he's gone, "Oh, just spit it out, Anastasia." So she literally spat in his face.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I mean, you are asking the girl, a 3-year-old, to spit it out. So she did. She spat in his face.
Listen. She thought he meant it literally.
Exactly. It's like what you said. Kids are sponges, isn't it? What they hear is, how they react at the end of the day. So
exactly. But yeah, I mean, this is a show. I mean, we're Chalutka. We're based in the UK with Cypriot family. I've known you for this long, but I don't actually know your background in terms of your parents, where they originated from. Did they come here in 74? Were they here before? Did they come after?
Yeah, my mum was actually very, very young when she came over here from working in the markets of Walthamstow when she was young, and my dad came over here after the 74 war. So he actually was in the war as well. Unfortunately, we won't get into that. But when the war finished, he flew over here because some of his brothers and sisters were over here. And then, the life of the Charlies begun.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's most of the stories, isn't it, that we hear? Because I was, my mum came out here when she was 17, 18 in 74.
Yeah.
My auntie was already here because my mum's got a brother and a sister, and the sister was already here because she came a few years before the war, and she was living in, was it Finsbury Park, Manor House, somewhere that way.
And
that's where a lot of the Gibraltar were.
All
Green
of them,
Lanes back then.
That's right. Yeah.
And she went and lived with my auntie and her husband, and my uncle stayed behind to fight in the war. But yeah, my mum studied out here. I said she's been out here since she was 17, so she's got British in her ways, but she's still got that cultural side of thing. But in terms of you mentioned your mum, like, was she born out here? Or was
she was born out here. So like my mum is like us basically.
It's like my dad. My dad was born in Lambeth. He wasn't born in Cyprus.
She's not the English. She's not the Greek talking. Typical Greek mum. Do you know what I mean? Like my aunties, my dad's sisters are my dad's sisters. Proper village. So
they're all right with you saying that. I'm sure they're all right.
Of course, mate, of course. So my mum's obviously, from our sort of background. I said, brought up in the markets back in the day. Like you said, Finsbury Park, Walthamstow, all these, these areas was where they mostly lived when they first come over in the 60s and 70s. My mum actually told me her cousin lived in Bethnal Green, and she remembers every Friday night the black Bentleys where the Crays were.
Okay.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because East London. They ran East London.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My mum remembers actually all the black Bentleys parked outside in the streets and stuff like that. So yeah, that my mum and my dad are the complete opposite. My dad is village. My mum is like us. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You tend to find that. It's funny though, because like my dad does say was born in Lambeth. My and Bapu. I mean, my Bapu died in '99. He died in
Okay.
'99, beginning of '99. So I remember him more than my yaya because I was 6 when my yaya died,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
Very
don't think he
young.
even went to a funeral. Yeah, do you know what I mean? No, I don't remember
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he was born in Lambeth and lived there all of his life, and then he came up to North London, and then obviously met my mum, and the rest is history. But he's Cockney in his ways. Like
Yeah.
his Greek is bad. It's not great. It's bad. He gets
Yeah.
along,
Yeah.
but you can tell he didn't look. My dad, when he was younger, my papa used to send him to Greek school. My dad would go with his brother, my uncle, and they would skip Greek school and then go to the cinema. That's what they would do. And then when it
Standard.
was done, they'd go back home. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
back then it was just like, and there wasn't any letters being sent home from the school or any calls like these days. When there's
Yeah.
bunking,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
bunking. That's all it is. So he didn't
Exactly.
learn anything, and the only thing my
Yeah.
dad learned was like getting batsus from my bapu. That's what it was really. But he's
Standard,
very
did it?
British in his ways. And when you grow up, my dad, as you know, I think you can relate in the sense that maybe your mum and my dad were similar in the sense that they used to go to discos, as what they were called back then,
Yeah.
and they do things different. Whereas my mum and your dad were brought up a different kind of way, and it's
Completely different way.
yeah, yeah.
Completely different way, mate. I mean, you see it as you grow up, don't you? When you live with one parent that's, lived in Cyprus most of their life, and one
Yeah.
that's lived in one that's lived in England. It's chalk and cheese basically. Like my dad, he's just like, oh God, mate. He's chilled out now because he's got grandchildren and stuff. But mate, he was the ultimate village, like the
Well,
ultimate village.
but when you say that, do you mean that in terms of his mannerisms, or just like the little things that you notice in terms of, I don't know, if Sunday he's gonna be doing a suvla, and it's like he does it the way that should be done.
Oh
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
listen. My dad's name's Savagi. Everyone calls him Uncle Savlagi because he's like everyone says he's the master of that that area of his villageness, if
Yeah,
you want to call it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so like there's just a lot of things that growing up, like the shoes will be on the floor next to him. He'd be like, "Gori, femo dava butcher." Do you know what I mean? It's like, bro, your shoes are
Get right
there,
then.
man. Go get them, bro. Like, but if I said that to my missus, like, I'd get a butts on and probably suitcase at the front door.
Malizza, exo.
Do you know what I mean? So it's
Birisi
like
Manasu.
that's the villageness of these
Yeah,
guys. But it's how they were brought up in it still. Let's be honest.
yeah,
It's how they were brought up back in them days, man, especially in Cyprus. Literally man and woman, isn't it? It's like
yeah. It's mad.
that's how it was,
It's
man.
mad. So,
When
which
you
part of
when you
Cyprus was your dad from?
so my dad's from Nicosia, a
Yeah,
village called Menigo,
right.
which is like inside a little village in
In the-
Lefkosia,
yeah.
and my mum was actually from Morpho, so that's where her family's from.
Do you know what? We're probably related then, because
More
that's
than
where my
likely, mate.
mum. That's where my mum was from.
Oh, really? Yeah, so more
Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah,
likely.
yeah,
More than likely,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like
yeah.
my wife now, her family, her Bapu's side were from Morpho too, and they knew all my mum's
Yeah.
side of the family back in the day.
Flipping hell.
So
Wow.
we're a small community really, if you think about it, innit? If from
Yeah, for
Cyprus
sure.
at the end of the day,
For sure.
unless you're from Buffalo, do you know what I mean?
Well, you say that, but my mum was actually born in Buffalo, and then they moved to Morpho when she was a kid. So she was about 2-3
Okay,
years old. They moved to Morpho.
yeah.
But when you say Morpho to people, like you could. I'll tell you what, Fosh would be a great one, because Fosh's dad knows my uncle in Cyprus, even though
Yeah,
they haven't seen each other since the mid-70s.
yeah,
But
yeah,
they
yeah.
grew up together in that part of Morpho. It's
It's
wild.
crazy, isn't it?
It's
But that's what
wild.
I'm saying. Everyone will know someone from somewhere at the end of the day, these little villages and stuff. But I've never been to Modford. I've had the opportunity to go, but I've never been. But apparently, it's an amazing, it's a beautiful village.
Yeah,
I've heard it's actually named after Modford, isn't it? So
yeah,
that's what they reckon.
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah, I've never been. I'd like to go one day. To be fair, to have a look at my now. My gran obviously he's not around anymore. God bless her soul. But she always used to mention about the village, how nice it was, and stuff like that. And I think the houses are still exactly the same as what they were before the war started. Apparently,
Yeah,
the people that moved in there didn't change anything in the houses and stuff. There's
yeah.
still like old photographs and of people that lived in them houses before the war.
Yeah, it
So
must be the older generation, because I'm sure the younger generation, like even a bit older than us, like would have changed things. Like, I remember going, when was it? What year was it? It must have 2003, 2004. I went with my
yeah,
parents to my mum's village because my uncle took
what
us
you
up
went
there.
to, you went Modford, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
And
is it true then? Is it a lovely village? Is it
yeah,
beautiful? Is it?
beautiful. I mean, my mum saw her house, her old house, and my
Yeah.
uncle went and knocked on the door. And the guy came out, and my uncle was like, "Oh, we used to live here, this and that." And the guy goes, "You guys can come in if you want." And my mum was like,
Wow.
"No, there's too many bad memories." My mum just
Yeah.
froze. I've never seen my mum like that. She went white like a
Was it an
ghost.
emotional thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think
It
it's got
must
to
be
be
really.
really like
Yeah.
PTSD, bro. Like to think about what people went through. Obviously, we don't know what they went through because we weren't
Yeah.
around to see it, and
No.
we haven't experienced any wars, especially living in the UK.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but then you see all these things that happen on television, for example, in Palestine and in Ukraine or whatever, and it makes you think, Jesus, we're lucky. But to think about it, even like I said, 20 odd years ago, my mum was, I don't know, mid to late. Flipping hell, how old's my mum now? She's got to be almost 70. So we're talking
Yeah.
early
Same as my
50s.
mum. Same age
Yeah,
as my mum.
early
59, my
50s. And
mum.
she went
Yeah.
pale like a ghost, bro. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't blame her for feeling that way.
Yeah.
Don't get me
Well,
wrong.
listen, it's a very like it must be quite a horrible experience, man, to
Mm.
witness something like that. I mean, my auntie's house in Nicosia, they were right on the borderline with the green. They called it the green line, right? Is it the red line? I
Yeah,
can't remember.
yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
I know
saying.
what you're
It's
talking about,
right on the
yeah.
borders,
Border.
and you're gonna, you know, when you see the house. I mean, they don't live there anymore. My auntie and uncle, they've moved further into Nicosia. There's bullet holes, bruv, in the house.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's crazy when you think that people lived there while this
yeah.
was living in their houses while all this stuff was going on. You know what I mean? So, but I would definitely would love to go and see that village. You know, on my mum's village. I will go one day, I reckon, and go and. I've
Yeah,
had a
why
few
not?
chances to go. I've had a few
Do it,
chances to
man.
go, but I just never got round to doing it. To be honest, but
Bro, I'd do it. You know, if you can get a chance to go with your mum as well. I mean, maybe she might not want to go. I don't know,
yeah.
but
Well, my
at
mum
least
doesn't
that
know the village. My mum
she doesn't
would
know.
never know it because she wasn't old enough to
Yeah.
remember them staying in that village. You know,
Well,
so.
your relatives out there though,
Well, no,
on
there's
her
none
side.
out there that live. There's
Oh,
none out there
really?
now. Yeah, that live. Yeah,
Okay.
my mum's actually. I'll be honest with you. Still, you know, like I was saying to you about the difference between cultures with my mum and dad. My
Mm,
dad comes from a massive family. Like he's got uh, four brothers, four sisters. My mum has only got one brother.
right.
So
Right.
it's a completely different culture. Like
Yeah.
I remember when we used to go on holiday. All the first. I mean, I think there's 17 first cousins over in England,
Flipping hell.
and I think there's another 15 odd in Cyprus. And when we were young, the house I was telling you about now, my auntie's house in Nicosia. When we were young, my auntie used to put a blanket on the floor. When we all used to go on holiday, remember back in the day, we used to go for like 6 weeks, didn't we?
Oh
She
yeah,
used to put a
over the summer.
blanket
Yeah.
on the floor, mate, and we were like sardines, mate. All the cousins lined up like that on the floor. But you know what the crazy thing about it is? My auntie and uncle used to give up their bedroom. They used to sleep in the hallway, bruv. In the hallway of their house
Oh,
with the front door open. Yeah. And my earliest memory of that was the zizzles at 6 a.m. in the morning. one would start and then it would go. One would start and then it go. And that was it. That was the start of the day. That's when it was the start
You
of
just
your
knew,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry about the chickens or the
Yeah, forget
cockerels, like
them.
making noise, or the
Yeah.
church
Forget
bells.
them. Or the headless chickens, if you want to call it. My gran used to just go like that, and they used to run around the garden for 10 minutes. But we used to literally sleep in the living room. No lie, good 15 of us,
Yeah,
like on the floor. But you know what? Still, they're the best days ever, mate.
yeah.
The best days ever, man. Obviously, looking at it in hindsight now, I think one of us should have given up the bed for my auntie and uncle. They let them sleep. They let them sleep in the hallway. For fuck's sakes.
Thinking about it now, I'm in my 40s. It may would have been the right idea.
Yeah, but my uncle loved it, mate. You know, Roches used to call it diaruin. Do you know what I mean? We get the aeroin at night because you know what Nicosia is like, mate. Even back in the
Nicosia is
day.
a hot box, bro.
Oh, mate, there's no wind anywhere in Nicosia, mate. It is
Mm.
just static heat. That's why I never go there now. The only time, whenever I'm in Cyprus now, mate, it's literally I ring up my auntie Thea. I'm coming on this day. Tell this to come and
Get
see
them out of
us
the way.
because,
Get them out of the
mate,
way,
mate, still, if I had to visit every one of my family in Cyprus, mate,
Oh, you need 8 weeks.
Yeah, 100%. So we do that one day in Nicosia, and trust me, it is so hot in Nicosia, always has been. But them memories, mate, will never leave me, man. All the cousins from England in my auntie's house, and that's the culture that I'm talking about. The village culture, do you know what I mean?
Of course.
From my dad's side.
Oh man, do you know what? It's just thinking about it now. I mean, I remember going when I was a kid. Look, I'm an only child, and I'm kind of happy about it because I fall out with everyone. So I probably fall out with my siblings if I had any. And we used to stay in Limassol with my yaya. So after the war, my yaya ended up in Limassol and with my uncle, and they got this house, Ayani.
Yeah.
And what my uncle did, he gave my yaya the bottom part and he built a top part. So when he got married, he moved in with his missus and had 2 kids. So my yaya lived downstairs, which was a 2 bedroom. It was a 2 bedroom. And upstairs, they had the 3 bedrooms. So it was my uncle, my auntie, and my 2 cousins. So we used to stay with my yaya. So I'd sleep in the same bed as my yaya, right, at the beginning. But then obviously as I got a bit older, Maya got a smaller bed. So she slept in the smaller bed in the room and I slept in the bigger one. And my mum and dad would be in the other room. And behind the house was my auntie's mum and dad.
Standard.
So they had their little, I don't know what to call it, like a bungalow.
Yeah.
So like you open the back door and their front door's right in front of you.
So you had the family everywhere, basically.
Yeah, and next door to my yaya was my auntie's uncle and auntie.
My big fat Greek wedding going on here, man.
That's what it was. That's what it was, and it was wicked. But I had a really good relationship with my cousins. My cousin Abedi, she passed away in 20. In fact, she passed away. When was it? 2012, just after we started Shoot the Defense.
She
I passed away, and
I remember. Yeah.
And she was about a year older than me. But I tell you what, man, like when you remember with the times with your cousins, like it was great. And look, don't get me wrong, when Diriago, my other cousin, got older and he went into Strador, and like obviously I didn't really get to see him too much. Or even in his teenage years, I'd go to visit, and he wouldn't want to talk to me. I mean, he was 3 or 4 years older than me. He had his mates. He was riding on his bike and everything like that. So I'm like on my ones. I'm like, so I'd have to go out and make my own friends, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but it was the best time. It was the best time when you were a kid. And like I told my kid now, like you need to make the most of it, because instead of sitting at home playing with your iPad, go out. I mean, I'll take you to the park. Just make friends. I know it's different times now. Dora, you can't take your kids out to the park and worry about them being kidnapped or whatever. Back then, when we were younger, can you imagine? Remember when you were a kid in the UK? You'd be playing with your mates in the streets, playing football in the streets or in the park or whatever, playing knockdown ginger.
Knockdown ginger, Wembley doubles, street football, all of it, mate. And the time you went home is when it got dark.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Your mum would be out the window going,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? But like you said, now forget it. When have you seen kids playing football in the road anymore, man? No. Or even in a park, mate. When have you seen kids playing football in a park? Do you know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you. The only time I see it frequently is when I walk the little one to school. There's a park up the top of my road, as you know, and they've got a basketball court. And some of the kids before school have a kickabout before they go to school. But afterwards, nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
Gone. Yeah, that's right. And it's a
nothing.
shame. It's a shame because it's a completely different generation. It's like with what I mentioned earlier on with my auntie's house in Nicosia. You wouldn't get that anymore, to be honest, with this generation of kids. They'll be like, what? No. I ain't having that. You know what I mean, don't you? It's that fun element. For me, that fun element has been taken out a little bit.
I think the trust as well, bro, because like, you know, you're right in saying that you could leave the front door open, Stingibra, right? You could leave the front door open, and even the Barathira, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You know, I remember we'd get my AI in the car and drive to see her sister in Bafo, in Dimi, right? And she'd leave the Barathira open, and we'd be like, yeah, list the Barathira. She's like, no, Ndaxi, man, don't worry. I'm like, what? And you come back, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly, mate. Exactly, and that's
try that out here though. Try that out here.
You got no chance, mate.
Yeah, I had a little chest of drawers right in the back room, in Stefania's room, and I left it at the front of the house. And I put him on the WhatsApp group with the guys. I says, "What time do you guys think it will be taken from the front of the front house?"
Yeah,
right. And no one
within an hour.
Like, no. This one, because I think it was heavy. They waited until nighttime when everyone was asleep to take it away. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I leave small things outside, like maybe an old chair or a mirror, for example, 5 minutes, it's gone. You don't even see them. Mate. You don't even see where they came from.
it's like a human Henry going past your house, isn't it? Hoovering it all up. Yeah, no, definitely. Whatever you want, get rid of now. Just stick it in the front of the house, man.
Yeah,
and it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Nah, definitely. I mean, still, like, just their memories back in the day are just the best memories, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said.
Where did you go Thalassa when you were younger? What was it?
Larnaca. Rotsos in Larnaca.
Okay.
There was a restaurant there. There was a restaurant there called Rotsos. It was on Mackenzie Beach.
Mackenzie, yeah. And
that's where we used to go. And back in the days, man, there was none of these beds and umbrellas and stuff, mate. Aunties used to take like a little mat that you lay on the floor, a couple of sticks. Do you know what I mean? A little bed sheet. You know what I mean? That's what it used to be like, mate. And again, we just used to run riot, man. I used to love them days, man. One funny story that's just come to my mind now on the beach was one of my uncles, right? Fosh, my uncle Giriago. When we speak to Fosh about it, he's a funny guy. But we're going to definitely speak a lot about him on this show.
Okay.
Because he's a funny
guy.
Mascot. He basically laid in the sun. And forget the days of gremes, mate. There was no gremes, mate. It was as soon as you felt hot, you turn around. Back in them days of Cyprus. Anyway, he fell asleep on the bed, turned round, fell asleep on the other side of his body, and as he proceeded to get up, the toron was stuck on his back where he burnt, and he looked like Superman basically because he looked like he had a cape. And I will never forget that day, man. Like he had to go nosocomion. He had to go nosocomion, innit? They had to peel it off and stuff like that. But my uncle, mate, he just didn't give a shit, mate. He was like fell asleep in the sun, give a shit. But I remember them days. Rotsos, it was basically Rotsos restaurant on Mackenzie Beach, and we'd be there literally for the whole day, man, morning till 5-6 o'clock. On that nice beach, man. I used to love it. And then as you got older, we started going to Brodara and stuff like this, Big Tree Bays, and But Rotsos is always restaurant and Mackenzie Beach will always be my first memories as a kid in Cyprus.
Is that place still there? Do you know?
Yeah, it's definitely still there. Yeah, it's still there. I'm not sure. Do you know what? Saying that, I'm not sure if it's called Rotsos anymore.
Right.
I mean, it used to be quite a famous restaurant between our community. Like Nabavisto Rotsos. Do you know what I mean? So we're gonna be at Rotsos, and lunch was always the same: calamari and chips. It had to be calamari and chips, mate. With Yeah, standard. So yeah, man, that's where we used to go as kids, and then as I said, as we got older, we started venturing out a little bit to Brodara and stuff like that. And now, whenever I go with my family, I'm always in Brodara.
Yeah.
So I haven't been Larnaca for years, to be honest, beach wise, probably for a good 10, 15 years. I haven't been to Larnaca Beach. I'm
The
always
thing is, right, since I started doing the No Choftes podcast with the Omonia fans, and then
yeah.
obviously extending it to This Is Mappa, we've had more and more Cypriot people paying attention, and they've given me names of beaches that I've never heard of in my life.
In
And you
Brodara.
think to yourself, just in general, in Cyprus, you're thinking, how come I've never heard of this? Because in my head, I'm thinking, well, I've never heard of them, but that's only because I used to go in the summer.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was the same with you. You know, it was summertime.
Yeah.
I don't remember going to Cyprus over Easter or any other half term, because summer was the long one. So we'd go, and it's usually visiting family and then going to the beaches that you're familiar with. So, for example, where we were staying in Limassol, the closest beach was Ladies Mile. So that's the one that we used to go to regularly.
Yeah.
Captain's
Ladies
Cabin.
Mile. Yeah.
Yeah, Ladies Mile was perfect for us. And then afterwards, we kind of ventured towards Gurion, because my cousin lived in Ipsona, which was kind of a bit close to Gurion anyway, and heading towards Buffer. And then obviously if you're going to Buffer, then Coral Bay is on the way. And if we were going to go to my dad's village, we might go to Governor's Beach. We might go to
Governor's I've done a few times.
Yeah. But then when you're hearing these other names, you're thinking, where are these beaches? Like, how come I've never heard of them? But
so many still.
Yeah.
So many, mate. So many. And they're all, do you know what it is, mate? They're all like little coves.
Yeah.
But they've all got their name. And you're right, like, it's like we're going to go to Malama Beach. It's like, where the fuck is that? Do you know what I mean? And like, when you get there, it's like, fucking hell, this is lovely, man. It's like a little cove, and not many people know about it and stuff like that. I mean, when we went this year, I went for 3 weeks this year, and I stayed in a villa with a family. So what we were doing villa days, staying at the pool, and then we were doing different beaches. We weren't going to the same beach. And I went to some beaches that I haven't been since I was quite young, man. Like Cape Greco, Gonnos Bay.
Wow, I haven't heard that name mentioned in ages, bro.
Mate, well, that's where our villa was. So the beach was only like 5 minutes from there. I mean, Gonnos Bay, mate, was phenomenal, man. Just like it brought back memories of when I was a kid and I used to go with my parents.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Gonnos Bay, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been. It's literally.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like a cliff.
Yeah, bravo.
And it goes round and round all the way.
Times. Yeah, I remember it, but as I said, when you're a kid and like you come to 43, 44 years old, your memory isn't as great. But if you show me a picture of it, it will come back to me. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was nostalgic, man. Like seeing these. And we went to quite a few this year, and I loved it. Went to all different beaches. The only bad thing about it was we was there in August. So if you didn't get there like at 8 a.m., then you're scrambling. You know what it's like in Gibraltar, man. Rammed. You're scrambling. Yeah, it is rammed, mate. I mean, we went to Magronissos. Oh, my God, mate. Magronissos Beach is one of my favourite places to go. Same, a little bit like Fig Tree Bay. I used to love Fig Tree Bay, swimming over to the little island in front, where, that little land. That you used to love it. But mate, you can't even see the sand. If you don't get there for 7:30 in the morning, you ain't getting a fucking bed.
Yeah.
Simple. So what we used to do is we used to send a couple of the cousins, like
get them early,
get them early, get the beds. You know what I mean? But then the deal was you could just chill all day, and we'll go and get the food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they used to get up. They didn't mind doing it, to be honest. I mean, one of my cousins was literally getting up at 7 in the morning, getting my cousin to drop her off at the beach, and should send us a message. You lot coming to this beach today, and just get a load of beds for us. Do you know what I mean? And just put all things down on the beds until we all got there.
Amazing.
Do you know what I mean? But that's what you got to do now.
Teamwork, bro. Teamwork.
Mate, it's what you got to do. It's what you got to do. Still, it's madness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah. Well, man.
I remember when, again, going back to when I was a kid, my dad would get in the car. We're gonna go get Loch Mothers. I'm like, okay, what's that? I was like, what's that? I've never heard of them before. Obviously, when you're a kid, and goes, right, let's go. So my mum's directing him. We ended up in Bladres. And Bladres, for me, did the best lokmadas. Okay, people are going to tell me otherwise, but that's the only place
No. You're not far off with that one, mate.
Yeah.
You're not far off.
And you go there, and it was cool. So you'd have to take a jumper. Do you know what I'm saying? Take a sweatshirt or something. But I'll never forget going there, eating lokmadas and playing on the arcades. They're the old arcades. You put the 20 cent
1947, the aeroplane game.
Flipper.
Flipper.
Yeah. Pinball machine,
and them dodgy pool tables that one leg was shorter than the other, so like it was slanted to the side, so like someone had to hold the table up when you used to break. So it was mate. But that you know what, you just hit it on the button. Rotsos, where we used to go, there was a little arcade there, mate, and that's what we used to do. You know what I mean? Just on the arcades all day. 1947, you must know that game. Yeah, the aeroplane game, mate. It was brilliant game that was. And you just get all the Cypriot coming over and say, "Eta charluskia,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you always had an audience, though. You always had an audience because you guys were from the UK, but obviously, I wouldn't say that we were more advanced, but we were used to playing computer games back in those days.
We were different as well. We were different. Yeah. Everyone could tell a Chun-Li, couldn't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Just the way we used to dress. We used to have a little baseball cap on as well.
Yeah.
You could tell a Chun-Li from a mile away.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I remember it was 90, 95, 96, round about that time. And I went to Lee Valley Market and I found this knockoff Wu-Tang clothing, right? These long baggy, but they were like the
what, like a blue bolt suit?
Oh, no. You know those the ice hockey shirts. Because they're like t-shirts, but they're long sleeve.
I remember all that stuff.
I found a yellow one and a blue one, but it was half yellow, half blue. It was a Wu-Tang, right? I got a red one.
I had one of them as well.
Wu-Tang were, I mean, they were knockoffs. We know that. I know that they were fake. They weren't originals, but I wore them to Cyprus, and I'll never forget. We went down Gado Lemesor, and the looks I was getting from people, I was like Ali G before Ali G was Ali G, you know. But I stood out like a sore thumb. 100%. So it's not just our haircuts and our complexion and the way we dress, maybe even the way that we walk, bro.
Mate, everyone could tell you were from a Greek from England, always. Because that's why we used to get a lot of attitude back in the day. It's changed a little bit now. We used to get a lot of attitude back in the day, man. Like the Greeks used to give us a bit of grief.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When I remember lots of times in my dad's village, when all them teenage Greek lads used to be sitting in the Guffinion, from the age of 15 with their worrying beans at the age of fucking 15. Do you know what I mean? Sitting there going like that. Do you know what I mean? And then we used to walk past there and it was like a Western movie, man. Like a cowboy film where everything just goes silent. Even the TV turns off by itself when you used to walk past one of them fucking cabs. Do you know what I mean? Everything just goes silent. That chalufka, do you know what I mean? It's like... we used to,
it was weird though, wasn't it? Because you're thinking like, what's
your problem, man?
Yeah, it's like,
do you know what I mean?
We're the same but different, if that makes sense.
Yeah, what's the problem, man? I'm Greek, man. I've got the same blood as you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but they used to have a serious problem, man. I think the only people I used to get on with were just my cousins from actual Cyprus.
Yeah,
everyone else I think hated us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is though? Because when I would say when I was younger, like in maybe my early 20s, when I had an attitude problem, I always thought like, is it because the Cypriots kind of felt that our parents kind of turned their back on Cyprus and went to the UK, and you think that's what it is?
I think so. Yeah. I think it is. I think they think that I think their first, impression of us is that, these guys think they're better than us. That's how I always used to look at it.
I can see that as well. I can kind of get them, if that makes sense. I can kind of understand it. Yeah.
That was their mentality, wasn't it? Still, sort of thing. Well, that's how I always used to think they used to look at me. It's like, you know, like we used to wear our Nike Air Max. Do you know what I mean? You remember back in the day, you know, we used to wear our
yeah. Reebok
our
pumps, man.
yeah, pumps, Nike Air Max. You know what I mean? All of these, you know, and I think they used to sort of look at you like, oh, look at this big time Chudley. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. And that's just my. Someone might tell me different of why.
I think there's an element of truth in that. I think there's an element of truth in that, bro. Because again, you know, okay, it's not like now where Cyprus has, you know, your Nike stores and all. It's more modern than what I remember it ever being. But I think back then, because us living in the UK, we had more access to high-end products, I'd say,
100%.
And to them, it was like, oh wow, they're coming over and they're bringing all this. And they think that. But then, to be fair to them, there have been a lot of Gibrey from the UK that have done well for themselves, but they like to show off a bit.
They floss it. They floss it.
Yeah. So I can see why the Gibrey back then would have felt, you know, you've gone to the UK and you've become something, but you're coming back here with that attitude. So I get it.
Yeah, there was a bit of both, wasn't there?
Yeah.
No, man. I mean, mate, I mean, I used to love Cyprus, man.
Yeah.
Like, and always used to. I mean, to be honest, there was a stage where things like that were starting to get on my nerves a little bit. How, you know, how we were, you know, looked upon.
Perceived,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And perceived, as you say. It started getting on my tits a little bit, and I started going to Cyprus for a bit. Do you know what I mean? But I think over the years, I think there's a bit more respect now. That's the way I look at it, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit more respect now. But yeah, back in them days, it was really weird, man. Like, you were proper frowned upon when you walk the streets and stuff. Like, dudos goznomizi and dudos. Sort of. That was exactly. In fact, I was actually told that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But the thing is, I think we carried ourselves in the way that we carried ourselves in the UK, thinking nothing of it when you go out there. So you're obviously not gonna understand the culture, the mentality, unless you're actually there all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And looking back on it, me thinking, me going out there wearing this and that t-shirt, this and that jeans, these and that trainers, I can kind of see why they felt that I was a little bit of a show off, even though I wasn't.
Yeah. No, it's just us. We'll be normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, we'll be normal, man. Like, we weren't going over there to show off a fucking pair of trainers or. It's just the way we was brought up, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like you said, we had more access to things in England growing up as kids. Do you know what I mean? I mean, my Greek cousins over there, mate, from Cyprus, I remember them being fucking lunatics, man. Like, that was the difference between us and them. They were just fearless fuckers, man. There's stuff they used to do, jump off stuff, and I mean, I remember I got taken to Cape Greco, man, and they were jumping off the fucking cliffs, man. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Do you know what I mean? At the airport tour. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, you do it as well. Do you know what I mean? And then looking back at it now,
do or die. Do or die, mate.
What have I done here, mate? Sort of thing. Like, they were, like, my cousins in Cyprus, obviously, they're much older now. And it's nice because we meet up now. We meet up a couple of times. We go to, like, Athens, to Bazooka, because we've all got, like, families now, as you know, and stuff. So, but, mate, when we used to go to Cyprus, I used to be a little bit scared of my Greek cousins, man, because they were fucking mental, mate. Honestly, absolute mental people, man. And that's what I loved about it, is that they used to love it when we used to come over. Yanni Pshimas Budin Anglian. Do you know what I mean? They all used to make us feel welcome, man. And we all had all different sections of cousins. So, like, I had the village cousins that used to live in my dad's village. And that was, I'll be honest with you, I hated going there as a kid. Oh man, because there was nothing there. And them fucking cockerels used to wake you up at 5 a.m. like it was fucking. And then you had my other section of cousins that used to live in Strovolo. And
okay, all right.
Yeah. And we used to watch fucking Commando and Rambo on the VHS. Do you know what I mean? It was like, it was like different. It was always something different happening. Do you know what I mean?
You mentioned Rambo. I'll never forget. Again, kids. I must have been about 8 or 9, and my cousin Girago was 11, 12. And we go to the beach, ladies' mart, and this guy was like, "Hey, na Rambo." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he'd be rolling around in the Ammo like that, right? And he'd be covered in sand, like pretending to shoot. And then again, I'll never forget this. I'm in the sea with my dad, just talking to him. And Giriago he's gone vafka like he normally does. You know, he goes to the deep end, like 11 years old, goes to where the fucking sharks are. I don't know.
Standard, fearless.
Yeah, and I'm like, the water's up to here, me and my dad talking. All of a sudden, I hear plop, turn around behind me. And it's like, you know, when something like a Bedra goes in the Nero and like does that. What's that? My dad goes, I don't know. Did someone throw a stone at us? And they can plop like that. I turn around, it's Giriago. He's holding his skada in his hand. He's taking a shit in the thalassa. He's holding the skada in his hand and he's throwing it. Like, fucking you disgusting bastard. Mate.
They're fucked, mate. Honestly. Fucked up people, crying. Man. It's the air over. It's the air over there, man. It's the fucking air over there. Honestly, absolute mental. But like a lot of my cousins now, as they've grown older, they've still got that mental streak in them, man. I mean, I mentioned to you, obviously, you're a Monia fan. We're an Aboel family, as you know, my as you know, my old man used to play for them back in the day. He was a goalkeeper, and so we're linked with, you know, we've all been Aboel fans, and my cousin was a fucking Aboel ultra, and he took me.
Orange,
he took me to the Magario Stadium back in the day before the Wasibi. And it was a testimonial, man, for the Omonia, that famous Omonia striker. What's his name, man? The German dude. Ralphman. I went to his testimonial, bro. Right? Mate, it kicked off and he was at the fucking front of it.
Yeah. I can imagine. You know
what I mean? He took me there. Next thing I know, he's fucking breaking shit off and he's throwing it over this fence. Mate, I was out of there, mate. Half time, I was gone, mate. I mean, you know what it's like, Stel. We've been to some intimidating places in England, man. Like your United Liverpool games and your Tottenham Arsenals and blah, blah, blah. But, mate, this is something that I've never seen before in my life.
It's different level, bro.
And that's what I'm saying. This is the way these guys are, man. They're just fearless, man. They've always been brought up that way. Like my cousins, especially, they're fucking lunatics, man.
It's funny you mentioned that because, you know, obviously there's another Omonia Kosenya.
That's right. Yeah.
The split. So the Tiranya, the ultras create
like
their
the
own
sister
team.
Club, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Well, what it is when Omonia were taken over by Baba Stavro, the ultras weren't too happy about it because the club had kind of lost its leftist roots. So it's a little bit like what United have done, But they've gone from non-league to they're top of Division 2 at the moment. They're one win away from promotion to the first division. Now their fans, the Gate 9, they are lunatics.
Yeah.
When I say they're lunatics, it's great to see because they do the pyro and everything. Yeah. And tonight they played Paralimni, right? And there's a top of the table clash, and it ended up being a draw. And let me show you something because I took a recording of this. What it is there, they've got ball boys, obviously, right?
Oh, no.
But one of the ball boys was not really a boy. Let me show you.
He was a ball man.
Yeah, look, he got sent off. Yeah.
See, I mean that there just reminds me of a cousin of mine. Do you know what I mean?
Get this. Look at what he does. He gets so angry. He gets the bib. He just chucks it on the floor and fucking walks off.
Only in Cyprus, man.
It's
only in Cyprus.
It's normal, but it gets better. It gets better. This happened in injury time. Right? But what I'm about to show you happened when Omonia equalised. It was a great goal, right?
I got to see it.
This is what happened when they equalised. And I had to slow one bit down because it was so funny, right? They've equalised, right? And he's run on the pitch.
No! What's he doing?
You see the players trying to push him off. Yeah, look. They're trying to push him off. Get off the pitch.
He put his bib back on as well, just to make himself look official.
No, this happened before. So like,
That was before, and then after he took. See what I mean?
Amazing.
I'm saying, like, someone like that reminds me of one of my cousins, man. Honestly, that it is like that, man. It is like that.
I love it.
I mean, I remember I bought my cousin my cousin a couple of years ago, come over from Cyprus, and he went to Manchester to visit someone, and he rang me up and goes, "Hey, cousin." He knew Manchester City were playing Liverpool that weekend.
Okay. Right.
And he goes, "Hey, cousin, namos casi ganando Cypriot, na vamos a doing the match." And now he's a Manchester United fan. And I goes to me, "Ela prospathiso," I said to him. Anyway, I got him a ticket. He'd never been to a game in England before.
Was it at the Etihad?
It was at the Etihad.
So he's got it in the Liverpool end then.
So I got him a ticket in the Liverpool end. So I had 2 tickets. And I jumped on the train to Manchester Piccadilly, got off the train, met him up. Now, this is a guy that used to play handball. Cyprus handball's a very popular sport in Cyprus, and he was brilliant. My cousin, like, he went abroad all the time with the Cyprus national team, and he actually suffered a very bad spine injury. So he stopped playing handball. But as you can imagine, he's played in front of crowds and stuff like that. And he's an Abuel fan as well. So he used to go all the time to watch Abuel. But he's never been to an England game. And I took him to the game. I said, "Hey," I goes, "You're a Liverpool fan today. Now, Memphis, anything Manchester, you do not mention." That's when you
know there's problems. When he goes Indaxere Gumbare, you know it's going to go sideways.
I was thinking I was going to get the fucking shit kicked out of me. But you know what? Fair play to him. Got to the ground, had a couple of beers with him, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it. But he said to me straight away, "What a complete different atmosphere to what it is in Cyprus. It's like more structured over here, isn't it?" And that game was actually a brilliant game. I don't know if you remember it. It was the 2-2 game when Stevie Gerrard scored that volley from outside the box, and then Aguero scored from that ridiculous angle when Pepe Reina come flying out like a Ben Loblas man and put it in from the corner flag. It was a brilliant game. It finished 2-2. And as you can imagine, you know what it's like being away when you go with the away crowd. It's much better than when you're go to a home match. And he loved it, man. He was like, "This is unbelievable." And it's almost like over there, it's just when you go to a football match, it's just fucking bedlam. Do you know what I mean? Over here, it's more, obviously, listen, we get the odd crowd troubles and stuff at every ground, but it's nothing like Cyprus. Do you know
it's a different world.
Yeah,
it's a different world.
Yeah, it's a different world.
It really is. When I started doing the Omonia pod and then started doing This Is My Part, I mean, I knew about the problems in Cyprus before, but because I never had Greek TV growing up, I didn't have, so I didn't really know too much about the problems that were going on out there. And obviously I wouldn't buy the Bariki Agi or whatever newspaper we had, but they wouldn't even report it anyway. So when you start watching Cypriot football, and again, I had a different impression of Cypriot football before I started watching it as much as I do now. I didn't really know too much about it. All right, people were saying to me, "Oh, it's village football." It's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And the quality is brilliant, I think, anyway.
It's definitely much better.
But then when you see the stuff that happens, and it's not even... It's so blatant.
Yes.
It's so blatant. It's like in the UK, so you got Sky Sports, and if a fan runs onto the pitch, they take the camera away, they pan onto someone in on the bench or a player. In Cyprus, it's just full throttle. They ain't gonna move it. Move the camera.
They probably follow him to his house there when he's fucking off the pitch in Cyprus. I know, mate. I know it's crazy. I mean, we come obviously. Your I don't know about your family in Cyprus. Are they sports mad? Are they football mad?
Yeah, my uncle is an Omonia fan, but he supports Liverpool as well. So he's more Liverpool. I mean, even mum tells me that when she was growing up, she had posters of Kevin Keegan in her wall, you know.
Yeah.
My cousin Griago, I don't think he's much of a football fan now. but yeah, most of my family, yeah, they're Omonia fans. But it's actually funny because my uncle was in so my dad's sister's husband, who passed away many years ago, his nephew was Mario Carmallaghi. There's a very famous Omonia supporter, was a supporter journalist, and he got me into supporting Omonia because whenever I used to go to my auntie's house in North London, and he was out here on holiday, he always used to tell me about Omonia, about Shurpa, about Gayafa, about all those players. I kind of learned about Omonia through him. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I always had that strong connection. So I wouldn't say my family in Cyprus were football mad, but on my extended family for sure. Sorry, Paragato. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like my family are football fucking bonkers, mate, in Cyprus. But I think I've mentioned to you my first cousin, so my dad's brother's son, he's a linesman in Cyprus now. Marios Galoyero. And
give him a mention.
Got to give him a mention, man. Got to plug him, I mean, it's phenomenal with him. Like I've shown you photos. He's done his claim to fame now. He's done a UEFA Nations League games. Nice. So he done Portugal versus Norway. And he met Haaland. He met Bruno Fernandes.
Wow.
I mean, he stood on the corn flag when there's a picture of him. He sent me it. Where he's as a linesman, you stand by the corner flag, and he's standing literally next to Bruno Fernandes, taking a corner. It's phenomenal for him. Yeah. He loves it. Yeah. But like, his old man is an Anorthosis fan, and when he does games, right, and he gives an offside, his old man don't fucking chat to him for like 2 days. Offside. Like he's like, Papa. He's like, Papa, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm a linesman. I'm supposed to do my job. This is my job. Then he done offside. He starts arguing with him. Like, he tells me, like, his old man is shouting at him because he doesn't think it's fucking offside and stuff like this. Like, they're all football bonkers over there. So, but it's really good, man. Like, I'm looking forward. Like I said to him when he does. So, like, he's going to move on now. He started doing the young UEFA Champions League games.
Okay.
The youth Champions League. Yeah. So he's done a couple of games there. He's done Arsenal this year a couple of times and stuff like that. And he's going to hopefully move up the ranks. Mm-hmm. And he said to me when he gets like a big game, like a European game, he'll try because I said to him, man, it's a shame, in Europa this year, Liverpool finally they get into a Europa this year. That would have been phenomenal, So. Yeah. But yeah, he loves it. But that's like my family are all like that. Do you know what I mean? He got into that because he loved football so much. Do you know what I mean? For him, it was just like another way to watch a football match. With a completely different view to it.
For sure. It's mad. And the thing is, they're crazy about the Premier League as well, as you know.
Oh yeah.
Going out there again. We used to go out there and. It was during the summer, so pre-season and all that. But then there'd be times where we might go late in the summer, and we'd be out there for the first couple of games of the season. But my uncle didn't have the foreign channels, or he didn't have whatever subscription it was. Because I think I can't remember when Sida came in, but I remember the first couple of years of the Premier League. It was on normal terrestrial Cypriot
That's
TV.
right.
I remember that because I remember watching Liverpool batter
all the games. All the games we used to be on. Yeah.
There was the Yeboah goal for Leeds against Liverpool. That was on
I remember.
But then something happened. Again, I can't remember the timeline. But then I used to go to bars with my dad to watch football.
Yeah, that's right.
And then obviously the bar was packed with tourists. Football fans, and then you get to know the locals because some of the locals would go there, and it was great, man. It was fantastic.
Man. I used to actually. It's funny you say that. I used to love going. Obviously, before the kids were born, I used to go on holiday end of August, September time, especially when I used to go with the missus as well. After as I got older and stuff, I used to love Premier League football in Cyprus, man. Do you know what I mean? Missus at the beach, straight to the pub. Do you know what I mean? Drinking beers all day, and I think you'd watch like 2 or 3 games that were on. Do you know what I mean? I used to love the early season fixtures in Gibro. The
only problem is the time difference. That's the only problem because your 12. Okay, now the 12:30 games will be at 2:30 in Cyprus. Your 3 o'clock games will be at 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
7. your Champions League games at 10 o'clock at night.
I know, it's crazy.
You know, the worst for me was when I was in Dubai, because it's like a 4-hour time difference. So you're watching a 3 o'clock game at 7 o'clock at night, an 8 o'clock game at fucking midnight.
Yeah, my mate lives out in Dubai. He's a mad Liverpool fan, and he gets gutted when it's like 8 o'clock kickoffs at night, because he don't go to bed till 2. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, he'll go to bed after a match.
The Gibrey, they don't fucking sleep. They don't sleep. Man. I remember we did the charity marathon pod the other day. Well, it was a couple of weeks ago, a couple of Saturdays ago. We started at 11 o'clock in the morning Cyprus time. 11 o'clock in the morning Cyprus time. And we didn't finish till 3 o'clock in the morning Cyprus time.
Oh my God.
There was about 200 people watching live at 2:30 in the morning.
That's brilliant.
You go sleep.
That's brilliant. Was you was over here though when you did it, right?
Yeah. So obviously I'm 2 hours behind. So I had time difference. 2 hours behind.
You must have been mash up still.
I wasn't, because Bedro and I were taking turns, because we had groups. So neither one of us were on the stream for 16 hours straight. He might do a couple of hours and I'll do like an hour, then he might do 1 and I'll do 2, whatever. So
I see what you mean.
We're alternating. But mate, it was immense, because I think because it's, first of all, it's never been done before in Cyprus. The charity marathon pod, it's never been done. So we're the first to do that. It was for a cancer charity in Cyprus, which
I saw it all, the way you advertised it all.
We helped them raise $6,000 for it. So
that's, I think phenomenal, man.
That's a decent wedge.
That is brilliant, mate. That is brilliant.
It still keeps going up, because we've got till the end of April until the cutoff point is. So hopefully we continue with that. But what we also did, that it wasn't just for charity, it was also it was basically to show that football fans can be united in Cyprus, because we know that there's been a lot of problems. I'm not going to go into the problemata, right? But we reached out to the best podcasters in Cyprus, and we said, guys, we're talking Apollon fans, Anorthosis fans, Apoel fans, AEL, Salamina, Olympiacos, you name it, Ari. We had all these supporters from different clubs, and they all said, yeah, we'll do it. So we put them into groups and categories. So we had Apoel fans and Omonia fans, and it was brilliant, man. And then at the end of the show, because we were about 11 and a half hours into the stream, and someone messaged me, goes, Stel, if you go over 12 hours on a stream, YouTube doesn't archive your video, so you lose everything.
Oh, shit.
So we went, forget it. What we're going to do, we're going to end the stream and create a new one. So we created a new one, and that's how we got to 16 hours, because it was 11 and a half plus 4 and 40, right?
That's brilliant.
But when we did the second stream, it was about 10 o'clock at night, Cyprus time, and we had 10 of us on the screen, like now, 10 of us just talking. And it was incredible, man. It was incredible.
And was it just like general chit chat, or
just chatting shit, bro? Just chatting shit. It was great though. It was like one of the best experiences I've had on streams, because again, I didn't say much, but listen to everyone talking, interacting. Just the stories. One of the guys, Skevor, he's an Apollon fan, but he's related to Merkiz that used to play for Apoel and Apollon. And he'd tell us a story about how he left the club, and there'll be this one telling us stories about this and that, and then we talk about the fans, about
I like stuff.
It was great, man. It was great, and I'd love to do this again with them, because they're such top people. We got WhatsApp.
Are you going to do it again?
Well, I'm hoping, bro, because everyone enjoyed it. It wasn't one of those it's just one and done kind of thing. I think because I don't think these guys have ever done this before. I mean, they do pods together in a studio. That's edited and everything, but I think because being on a stream and you got everyone in the same room, and it's more, how can I put it, it's less intimate because you're not together, but at the same time it is intimate because you got people watching live and you don't know what's going to happen, and it's unpredictable. And I think they enjoyed it because it was just cool, man. So
that was proper off the cuff. That was proper off the cuff.
There wasn't any. I mean, the only thing that was planned was the times that people were going to come on. That's the only thing that was planned. Nothing else. The conversations weren't planned. There was nothing.
They're the best ones, aren't it, still?
Right, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
We had the players' union supporting us. I mean, Loizo from the marketing side of the players' union came on for half an hour. We had Giria Maro from the charity to come on the first half an hour to explain about the charity and everything. And they want us, they want us to do things with them moving forward. So it was positive. And listen, at the end of the day, I get goosebumps thinking about it because it was so nervy. Because for me, I couldn't speak English, or I could, but the whole point was for it to be in Greek. And when I talk to my mates like you and Fosh and like in Greek, I know I'm mixed from English to Greek, but
we're Gringlish, aren't we? We're Gringlish.
Yeah, bravo. But doing it over a stream, knowing that there are people watching you live as well
for so long as well.
Yeah, you got that akos as well, bro. You're thinking like, if I say something wrong, and again, back to the whole when you were a kid, you know, you could say something and you don't get your door or your da right, and it's like they take the piss. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I don't think I could. I mean, I can speak Greek.
Da ilio.
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd be like, do tiliorasi.
It's true. It's like I mean, I could talk Greek, but you're right. Mine are. I'm a Gringlish Greek. You know what I mean? When I talk my Greek, you know what I mean? So it would be quite nervy, to be honest, to do something like that.
But you know what's weird though? For me though, this is the weird thing for me. If I was to talk, if I was to attempt to speak Greek to my friends in Cyprus, right? I still got that anxiousness doing it.
Yeah, me
Whereas
too.
if I spoke Greek to, for example, I saw my uncle today for the first time in about 6 or 7 months.
Completely
and he was
different.
born out there, come back here. And I'm speaking to him Greek, like it's banging out. I'm like, what's happening? It's like, where's all of this come from?
It's your mind, mate. It's your mind, isn't it?
Oh,
you get anxious, don't you, when you feel like you're going to make a mistake when you're talking. But when you're someone that's close to home, you know, like, you know, your parents and your uncle and stuff like that, you talk like some sort of fucking Greek philosopher. You know what I mean? Some of the words that start coming out, you're like, what the fuck did that come from?
This is it.
I don't know.
And Stephanie was standing there helping my mum bake a torta, and she turned around and she goes to me, Papa, where does this come from? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But to be fair, bro, and this is why I've got to give credit to the guys that I just mentioned that did the pod, because I interact with them and I listen and I watch their podcasts.
Yeah.
It extends my vocabulary. So again, it goes back to when 100%. My papa was telling me when he came to England in the 30s, right? And his first job was cleaning dustbins. He never spoke English, but he went to the cinema and he was watching cartoons, Mickey Mouse cartoons and shit, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how he picked up English. So I'm thinking, right, it does make a difference. Like if you watch Greek shows and everything, like I watch Psychoanalysis, I watch Green Balls, Blue Zone. I watch all of these pods and my vocabulary improves as a result of 100%. Watching that. It's wild how your brain works in that sense, Giza. Man, honestly, it's weird.
No, it definitely would, though, wouldn't it? When you're surrounded with people that are talking like that all the time, you start your brain starts becoming like a muscle memory and starts picking up on these words. Do you know what I mean? I mean, me with I don't know. Does Stefania go Greek school? Obviously, I see
on a Saturday, but she's got a private tutor once a week.
Okay,
and that has helped her. Different.
I mean, my kids went Greek school, apart from my son, obviously, because he used to play football. But unfortunately, they never really picked it up well. I mean, my youngest does Greek dancing, as we've done the show together, as you remember. But my eldest never really picked it up. She done her GCSE during bloody COVID, so everything was predicted. Sort of, it was predicted grades and all that, and then
man.
You know, it is a good culture.
A lot of kids, man.
100%. But the Greek school thing, the only thing I probably regret is not learning the culture that much. Because when we went to Greek school, I mean, you went Greek school, definitely, 100%. I
didn't learn anything, though.
I didn't. The only thing I loved was the culture sort of thing. You know, being around that community of people. Do you know what I mean? So But even that's changed now, isn't it?
But this is it. This is a good one, but a good segue, because I was going to ask you, like, I look, maybe it's just me, but I've always said it on this on the pods that the Cypriot community in the UK, perhaps more so in London, we're nowhere near as close as what we should be. Nowhere near.
100%.
Nowhere
Only with our
near.
families, really, innit?
Yeah.
Only with our families, man.
Yep.
Is the closest you're gonna get. You're right. As a community, you feel like we should be more together
Yeah.
as a community. You know, like, you know, you brought up the podcast thing, yeah, where you had everyone from different football clubs, as to say, and
Yep.
you know, on a day-to-day basis, these people fucking hate each other, don't they? At the end of the day,
I wouldn't say they hate each other, man. Not
you
at
know
all.
what I mean, though, like the tribalism and stuff like that with the clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when people come together, that's all forgotten about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what my point I'm trying to make is that we're not as close as a community, I don't believe, as what we should
No
be.
way.
And that's because we don't come together a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like that. I'll tell you what was really nice, still, that I really loved, is when the kids went and done that dance show. That's
elites.
That's the first time I've been to something like that for many, many years. Like, obviously, I used to go Greek school and we used to do dinner and dances. That's probably the last time I went to something like that. But I loved it, man. I loved how it was together as a Greek community, the dancing.
I agree. And the thing is, I'm sure you saw a lot of people that you hadn't seen in a long time.
Oh, man, Jesus Christ.
And you're sitting there saying to yourself, why don't we do this more often, kind of thing?
100%.
Why has it taken an event for our kids, for us to get together? And again, I think I'm envious of the people in Cyprus, because I think they have more of a social life than we do in the UK.
100%, man.
They have more of a social life because they've got. I think they've got more. Okay, they don't have more to do, but because it's a smaller place, like me and you, if we wanted to go do something, where can we go in London? We'd have to go up London.
We've got to book somewhere.
You have to book somewhere. They have to get on a train. So you're talking about 40 minutes on a train, and then you got to think about getting stabbed, or the rain, or just so many different factors. Whereas in Cyprus, they can go to the local, taverna, or they go to Bouzoukia. They go different places, and their 100%. Social life is so much better, and their community is so much stronger as a result. Whereas Emirs, right, we haven't got that kind of thing. If you think about it, if you deep it, the churches in the UK, the Greek churches are going down the toilet. No one goes to the churches anymore unless it's a minimosino, and it's usually the older generation. What do we have in terms of our events? Yeah, there might be the odd Greek night, but who goes there? We're talking about over 40s. The youngsters, they don't go. They don't go. So what else is there? Radio stations, LGR struggling. You got Greek Beat, which has started, but they're not seem to get any momentum. You got My Greek Radio again. I don't know their listening numbers. I don't think they're as big as LGR. Yeah. Then you got to think about the press. Okay, Barigiagi and Eleftheria are the two big ones. But apart from that, what is there? So this is London.
Yeah.
But I do know that in Manchester and Birmingham, there are communities, and they do a lot more. They do a lot more.
Yeah, because like you said, because it's smaller, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like here you don't get anything like that anymore. Do you know what I mean? I mean, back in the day, there used to be quite a few dinner and dances and stuff like that. Yeah. Hardly hear of them now. Do you know what I mean? No. It's a big shame, man. It is a big shame, but it's just the way of the times now. Still, I mean, look at me and you. We're talking now. It would be lovely if I was sitting in the same room you having a chat. We're on a computer. Do you know what I mean? Chatting. So.
Well, listen, we could do it. I had this idea because I've got a 4K camera, and I said to Fosh, like, we can go to a restaurant and just start filming there. And I'm sure, listen, you probably know restaurant owners. Fosh knows Fosh sure as hell knows restaurant owners.
Definitely
do a lock-in and do a recording there. I mean, I like it when you're with someone doing it.
Yeah, it's more. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Listen, we literally thought about this today, so it was just like, fuck it.
It's a good first show for a little chat, isn't it?
I agree, man. I think it's gone pretty well, and hopefully people will enjoy it. But I'm gonna put up. You got Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah.
Where's your Instagram? Let me find it. See, again, I'm not even gonna edit this bit out because I'm gonna do minimal editing for this thing. Where are you? You are okay. That's an easy one. Let me put it here.
Little Andy.
I mean, you need to get the uppercase and lowercase right, because on Instagram, for some reason, if you don't get the uppercase and lowercase right, it sends you to someone else, which is wild. So like, yeah, so this is Andy's Instagram. Give him a follow, because we want to extend the community. And do you know what? You might even find some relatives that you've never met before following you.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't push to in the challuin.
Every time you see someone you haven't seen in a while in Cyprus, megalosis. I mean, I'm 43 years old, my guy. You want me to stay this big?
Yeah, definitely, man.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to finish you with this story, because now it's just coming to my dad. I shouldn't really laugh about it, but thinking about it is quite funny. So down my mum's road, so you've got my mum's house, and my mum's lived down that road for the last 40 odd years. And at the bottom of a road, about 1, 2, 3, 4 houses down, was a old Cypriot woman that lived there even before my mum was there. And she got to know her, right? God rest her soul. She was a wonderful woman. And I'll never forget, she always used to call my mum and dad's house before she'd come round to see if they were home, right? And every time she'd call, I'd pick up the phone, because I was a kid and I'd answer the phone. Obviously, the first person to answer the phone. And I'm like, hello? And I hear, Buni Manasu. Not even a hello. Buni Manasu. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So, so one time the phone rings. I'm not near the phone. My dad picks up the phone. Hello? And my dad obviously answers because I was a bit older. My voice had broken. My balls had dropped. And my dad answers the phone. He goes, hello? And she goes, Buni Manasu. He goes, she goes, manamu.
Oh no, man, that's dark. Your old man must be thinking, what the fuck are you talking about?
Because that's my dad. Like, he just like, that's his immediate response. It's been 20 years since my mum died. Like, she ain't gonna be here for one.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, man. But she was wonderful, that woman.
That is the village, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Standard.
Do you know what I mean?
Standard. But to be fair, man, she was wicked. Like I said, when I was a kid, mum used to take me around there, and I wouldn't want to go, because what am I going to do sitting around there? She doesn't have any, her son was like 20 years older than me, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. And I go there. She goes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then I was all right. And even like, you'd go to school and, you'd play football and you'd get dribes in your trousers. And Mum's like, Ade, let's go to the Gojagari down the bottom of the road, because she's got her sewing machine. And she
oh, man. We're definitely, we used to go with patches all over your fucking trousers, isn't it, when you were at school? Like square patches as well and stuff like that. We used to rip everything and they used to sew it all back together.
The moment Jurgen Klinsmann came to the Premier League, it was game over for my clothes, because I tried to replicate him, the bicycle kicks and everything, and the diving, the celebrations. Like, my shirts would be like mud.
The Gojagari was working overtime when he came over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Yeah, man. Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. I'm sure we got loads of stories like this, man. But Andy, thank you for doing this, bro. We need to do this more often.
Yes, 100%.
We need to do this
100%.
more often, so
we've got some funny stories coming up, definitely, mate.
Oh yeah. This is just the beginning, mate. This is just the beginning.
This is just there's one I'm going to end on. I'm going to ask you quickly.
I'll let you have this one. Go on.
Do you remember we were talking about like the beach where you going to have, or where you were going to Bloodless to eat your log mothers?
Yes.
Do you remember that guy at Larnaca that used to shout, Barodon, Vega cent, ice cream, 20 cent?
Yes. They were the best.
I'll never forget that guy.
They were the best. There was one guy used to be on his bodilador, and first thing in the morning, I'll be lying in bed at my dad's house, and I hear, Elio bita, dashino bita. It's just the same voice, the same monotone voice, and you'd hear him on his bike, and you know that he's in the area. You just know he's in the area. It's the same voice.
He's probably thinking
the ice cream vans with the same music.
I know, mate. That voice. I think I've heard that voice. You know that. Honestly, I've heard that guy. Man. But you know, he's a sort of guy that probably didn't fucking want to sell anything anyway. He was just like, I hope no one buys anything off me today. But I've got to say what I've got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But
Oh,
there's other
brilliant, mate.
ones. I mean, I've got friends that used to tell me about other guys that would be on their backs. They'd be like, "Bombay!"
Oh, there used to be a
Pointing at the
guy
whole
like,
neighborhood.
yeah, there's a guy like that in Brodera that used to do that all the time. Bombay, Shami Sheep, to shout it out like a fucking lunatic. Do you know what I mean? Oh, mate, joke. And then the other guys with the lakia. Do you remember the lakia
On the beach.
on the
Oh
beach?
man, Yata Mora. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, mate. I swear, that a couple of times he must. This guy that was selling them in Larnaca, I reckon he scratched a few when he sold as well.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
he used to get them, he used to disappear, and they were already scratched. I'm thinking, what the fuck? What's going on here? Are you looking at it?
He had rolls and rolls of them. It's like it's like a mummy with a loo roll around them.
We definitely met the same bloke, man, because he looked exactly like that.
For sure. He had a bum bag.
Yeah, he had a bum bag, fucking loads of fucking lucky on him. Oh, mate. Do you remember them guys, yeah?
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Boys and girls,
Stel.
thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Andy, for coming. That's Andy's Instagram. My Instagram's down there. Follow us on Instagram at NC Network. We have a X as well. Why not? Just let us know. And listen, if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, leave something in the comments. Let us know your experiences. Feel free to join us. Listen, this is how we do things, man. The life of Charlie. Andy, thank you very much for joining me, bro.
Cheers, Stel.